Yeah. Tremendous stress relief. So, all right, now I'm going to try to remember how to go on TikTok Live.
I bet.
Let's see. Nope. Here we Nope. Let's see. I remembered how to do it yesterday. No. Creator tools. Live. Here we go. All right. I'm giving it a title, and then we should be good to go. I still don't think I have enough to invite you yet. Like,
Sorry.
one more of these.
So in I think 2 weeks. I think she goes on vacation again in 2 weeks.
Okay. So then maybe we'll. Chat. All right. All right. 3, 2, 1. And hello. We are live on TikTok and now are we live on Facebook as well?
We are.
All right, live on Facebook and on YouTube. I am Courtney Fairweather here with Neil Hyzak, who you can see on Facebook and on YouTube, but you can only hear on TikTok. We are nurse practitioners with Active Medical Solutions and Dr. Mo. Dr. Mo's who you're usually familiar with seeing here. So I'm going to let Neil kick us off with our disclaimer for everyone.
All right. So first things first, this is not medical advice. If you have a specific question, you should ask your provider. We are kind of just talking about general knowledge, general questions regarding GLP1s, their use, how to use them, side effect management, any other questions you have about them. We are here to answer and happy to answer for you. It is not a HIPAA compliant space. So basically, if you don't want everybody in the world, because we're on TikTok, to know about it, don't say it here. Ask your provider directly, but you're pretty anonymous here, so feel free to ask anything you want. We will try our best to answer it for you. And otherwise, welcome.
Yep, welcome. So we are not officially medical advice here. Even if we are your provider, we are not your provider here. You use your HIPAA compliant space group text for that, but we are happy to answer any questions. Anything new from yesterday, Neil?
Nothing. Just the normal stuff, like on Reddit, normal stuff. People having issues with side effects. A big one, it keeps every once in a while it'll come up, is like, it drives me nuts. They call it that, sulfur burps. It's just this chronic thing that comes up, and typically it's diet related. I mean, you are going to have that slowdown of your stomach emptying, so anything you put in there is going to stay there a little longer. So if it's something that would cause that like sulfury type taste or feeling, and I think it's just an acidy taste of digesting food, you're going to get that. And a lot of times it's, it could be lots of different things. It could be red meat for some people. It could be certain types of vegetables. A lot of times it's broccoli, cauliflower. And then many times it's just, if you're waking up to it, it's because the food sat in there all night and you ate too much, too close to bedtime. So that's usually the first step before I, advise medications, to try to fix that before you, to get rid of that, because that's an uncomfortable side effect. But otherwise, yeah, antacids, Pepcid are usually my first line for that kind of thing. After food changing.
Agreed. And for most people, myself included, it was like a huge learning curve that, many of us have been used to the diet mindset. So we start a medication with our same like diet mindset and try to include like lots of salads and that kind of thing. And this is a totally different experience. Many people experience a dramatic decrease in their appetite immediately. Some of us are slower starters. I did not notice that decrease in appetite immediately. It took me quite some time, but in all honesty, I've shared a lot of times, for me, it was a huge learning curve that it simply didn't take the same amount of food to make me feel satiated. And I wasn't used to that. So I was continuing to serve myself like a normal size portion because I still felt hungry at mealtime. So it took me a long time to like truly realize, oh, I really need like half to a third of the volume of what I was eating before. But I rarely had side effects other than some discomfort if I overate. But it was a huge learning curve to realize what that kind of tipping point was of overeating versus satiated. it was not an easy start for me. So for
No,
those,
we didn't have someone telling us how to eat. Like, you know what I
no,
mean?
that's
Like,
true.
even though Wegovy had been out for a long time, no one was talking about, oh, eat like this, don't overeat, avoid these foods. You know, it's not until we really got into it and did it ourselves and then experimented on ourselves and then kind of work with patients. At least for me, even before when I look on like Reddit, I didn't see those types of conversations or topics.
Yeah.
It's kind of progressed to that. I mean, even myself, like, I mean, I think the first month I still ate pretty normal. I mean, other than the first week or two where I was just like getting my protein because I couldn't eat anything. If I
Yeah.
went out, like let's say the Chili's, they have that 3 for me for like $10 or something like that. So you get your appetizer, your drink, and an entree. I couldn't get to the entree. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I'm taking this whole thing home. And then it
Yeah.
turned into me and my wife splitting one, and then we're still taking half of it home.
Right.
So
Yeah, and it is, it's a big learning curve. And no, back then, I mean, and so when I first started, and I started like the first month that Manjaro was out, there weren't these discussions, and all you were hearing, or all I was hearing or experiencing, was the people that had like immediate, like yourself, who had like immediate appetite suppression. And so for someone like me who didn't feel that immediately, there was no guidance on, until Dr. Mo got really, really real with me when I said, I'm still over here white knuckling and I still haven't lost any weight. And here's what I'm eating. And she was very honest and said, yeah, so that dinner's got to cut in at least half if you truly want to lose weight. And that was big for me. Like, okay, I really have to cut that portion in half. And you know what? I wasn't walking away from the table feeling hungry, which was a huge fear for those of us who've dieted for years. The fear of feeling constantly hungry, because we know what that'll tip in our brains, which is usually a binge episode, or, you know, picking out on foods that we've refrained from eating. It's a huge fear that that's going to bounce back. So big learning curve. So we are your people in all different kinds of experiences. We come with a boatload of tricks and a boatload of different experiences. All of us were, Dr. Mo shares that she felt it within like 12 hours, this immediate relief. Neil was pretty quick as well with the, appetite suppression. And then Amanda Luby, who's another one of our nurse practitioners, she and I were both kind of relatively slow starters. So we have various experiences. And then I don't even know how many patients' lives we've touched at this point. A couple thousand at least. Like, uh,
yes, I can't remember where I saw it. Was there was like some kind of list of everything that ported over to our new software, and yeah, it was like 3,400. It was a really high number, and that's not even the ones that like never made it off a push. So
right. Yeah. So
pretty incredible.
pretty incredible, the amount of lives that we've touched. And with that, we've got all of their shared experiences. So if you're going through something or experiencing something while taking a GLP-1, chances are we've heard it. There's not a whole lot that we haven't heard. Occasionally something will pop up that I'm like, I'm not sure that's medicine related, because we haven't heard it in anyone else. It's not in any studies. It may just be coincidental that this has happened to you. But anything you're going through, please feel free to ask here, and we can hopefully help. If not, we can find resources to help.
All right. So where can I find this on TikTok? Over on YouTube, I just threw your link in there. So hopefully that link works to take you
Okay.
to your TikTok itself. Over on Facebook, Sean's asking, what if you're taking Ozempic, but you haven't lost anything or nothing but 8 pounds? Sean, it kind of depends. Now, are you on the very starting dose of Ozempic? Have we kind of ramped up all the way to the top dose? Um, is the first question I'd ask. And then having asked that, like, if we are on the max dose, is your appetite suppressed? And if it's not, like, it's very, very possible that just Ozempic, you'd be the second person I've ever met that Ozempic doesn't work for. I've only met one other one, and they lost nothing on after maxing out the dose, and we switched. But otherwise, we're looking at what are you eating? Are you making sure you're getting enough protein? Are you making sure you're getting enough fluids, resting, and are you moving? Is where we go. But if you're like on a very low dose, it might just need to be increased. And or if you are on the top dose and you have some appetite suppression because you have lost some weight, adding something else in. We like to add metformin. You're 1.5. Okay, so you're like on, I'm guessing compounded then. I would go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've had some success with it, you've had some appetite control. The weight loss doses are actually the 1.7 and the 2.4. So yes, people do lose weight at the lower doses, but that's not where the majority of people lost their weight in the studies.
No, I agree. I'd go up. If you're not experiencing any side effects, I'd go up. We do have some people that get to max dose and will express to us that they feel appetite suppression, but haven't really lost any weight. And at that time, I'm like, all right, it's time to dig deep and do the hard questions. It's time to do the evil tracking. But if I don't have data, I don't know where to help. And oftentimes, it does take truly logging and looking at what you're really eating, because things sneak in and add up, and sauces add up, and a little nibble here and a little nibble there, especially if it's something really calorie dense like nuts. Those things add up pretty quickly. And for some people, just a couple hundred calories over their target every day is enough to not allow you to lose weight. Or that one, Friday evening cheat meal is enough to throw your calorie deficit for the entire week off. Sad but true. Man, it sucks to have worked hard all week long and have
Yeah.
that one like fun meal and it totally derail the entire week. But it did that for years. So I'm here to tell you it happens. And it sucks, but it happens.
You mentioned sauces. Like the one that blew me away was Chick-fil-A sauce. That 80
Yes.
baby packet has 140 calories in it. And if you
Yep.
go to Chick-fil-A like nuggets, how many packets are you eating?
Yeah.
Even if you got
Yep.
the grilled nuggets, you just added, like I'm going to assume you're at least eating two of those little packets. You just added
Absolutely.
280 calories. And, if you do that for your healthy lunch every single day, I mean, there's your half pound for the week or
Yeah.
3/4 of a pound for the week just
Yep.
by eating all that sauce. Um, and that's fine. You can eat that sauce. You just need to know it's there. So when you're talking about your total calories, like, ooh, I ate a lot of sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, sauce, and I mean, little things like, coffee creamer, a serving size of coffee creamer is much smaller than what you think it is. So, if you're just doing like most of us and, pouring it in, you're probably getting more than one serving of it. Sauces are huge, but there are recipes online to make like your own. I love Chick-fil-A sauce. But there are online recipes to make your own that's like a lot less calories. And you can do that really easily for a lot of things. Um, if you like ranch dressing, there's recipes online to make it with like fat-free Greek yogurt and skim milk. And, once you get the consistency right, you can't really tell the difference. And I hate to always mention that because it does kind of flip some of us back into that diet mindset. But if we want to sustain long-term weight loss, we have to make some long-term changes. And some of that includes not eating 280 calories worth of sauce every time we get grilled nuggets that are healthy. I mean, grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A are really, if you look at their macros, they are really pretty good. But if you add on all the sugar and the sauces, it'll throw you off for sure.
So, Buffetters, so I'm not seeing anything on this chat for some reason. I'm checking my settings, looking for that TikTok link. Yeah, it shows up mine. I don't know if you have YouTube up, Courtney.
I
If you're able
don't.
to throw that link up, yeah, it's there. I don't know why it's not, but if you just what is your
I'm Health Journey NP.
it's health_journey NP,
Yeah.
and that'll find, or it should be if you go to Dr. Mo's regular old, it should be posted there.
Yes. If you
I
go
think
to Dr. Mo's page or Neil's page, either one, we posted a link there yesterday. So if you pull up their recent posts, there's a link there to my page on both of those.
Sandra's saying all serving sizes are smaller than we think. Yes, yes, they are. The American, when you go to a restaurant, people want large portions, and they're usually at least double or triple. They're huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a meme today on Instagram that I sent Dr. Mo. It was the Cadbury Easter eggs, which if you've heard Dr. Mo eggs, Dr. Mo talk, those are her weakness, are the Cadbury mini eggs. It was showing like a big package and it said the serving size listed on there was 8. He's like, who the F do you think I am? I've got 8 in my mouth right now and I could fit more in. Like, what am I on restriction in Mars? 8.
Looks like potato chips or almonds. Oh my God, almonds is like
Oh,
8 almonds or 11 almonds. That's nothing. It's one. I'm done. Okay.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, nuts are a healthy fat, and have a little bit of protein. I would not use them as a good protein source because the calorie bang for your buck is pretty low. But those calories, if you're going by and eating like a handful of nuts, thinking that's a good little snack, boy, those calories will add up.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Sean's now asking, so is Monjaro better than Ozempic? Well, Dr. Mo's not here, so I'll be team tirzepatide for her today. She loves tirzepatide. In studies, yes, overall, it is a better drug if you take the averages in a study. People on Ozempic lost, I think it's about 16% of their total body weight in a year. People on Mounjaro lost about 23% of their total body weight in a year. So overall, yes, you will lose more on Mounjaro. I think Mounjaro is a better drug for people that really have cravings. So if they seem to always be thinking about food, like they're eating dinner and they're thinking about when they're having for snack that night and what they're gonna have for breakfast that morning. And if they get up in the middle of the night, they're gonna have a couple donuts. That's, I think, who that works really, really well for. If you're someone that just like, I overeat, I don't think about food. It was when I eat, I need something to kind of slow that down. I think like Ozempic, semaglutide, Wegovy is a great drug for that. Having said that, like I said, I've only seen one person not do well on semaglutide, and they literally maxed out the dose and did lose a pound, never had appetite control. And I know it was good because their family was getting it from the same places as he was, and they were losing weight. They had no appetite. They weren't even maxing out their dose, and he wasn't. So everybody's body chemistry is a little bit different. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
overall, yes.
Overall, yes. I'm I'm so we're a house divided at my house.
Yeah.
I've been on tirzepatide and need to make the switch to semaglutide. My husband's been on semaglutide the whole time and has successfully lost about 100 pounds. So and amongst my patients, I do see success on both. I see probably about the same amount of side effects on both. But I will say, if someone is experiencing a lot of side effects on one, perhaps changing to the other will help. Um, I think I do probably see more appetite suppression quicker on tirzepatide, but again, most people tend to do well with semaglutide. It's very few people that just don't have any appetite suppression at all. It's not all that many.
And it's really weird because some people will be horribly fatigued on like, let's say Monjaro, and they switch to semaglutide and have no problems. And then vice versa. Some people
Yeah.
like I'm so tired of semaglutide, switch to tirzepatide, and it's the best thing ever. They have all kinds they have like a boost of energy. Their appetite suppressed. They have no side effects. It's pretty crazy how very different people react to the medications.
Absolutely. And I think we've said many times, like, we have yet in the thousands of patient experiences we've had, we have yet to find any rhyme or reason as to who does better on one versus the other, who does best on what dose, who experiences side effects. So we are very reluctant to start you at any higher doses than the starting dose if you've never been exposed to GLP-1s, because I have no way to know. You could need to lose 150 pounds and that first dose throw you for a loop. You could need to lose 10 pounds or want to lose 10 pounds and have to max out before you're able to lose any weight. Like, there is no rhyme or reason, male, female, you know, race. There is no rhyme or reason um,
Yeah.
as to any of it. So we start low and go slow and listen to you.
Yeah, we had a person yesterday who, went up to 5 one time and it was too much for him, but had lost 80 or 90 pounds on
Yeah.
2.5 tirzepatide.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick with it.
Sean hasn't had any side effects on Ozempic at all. Yeah, if you haven't had anything, I honestly say go up to the next dose and see what it does for you. That might just be your dose. Like, you might just have great appetite control and the weight starts coming off. Especially if you're already worked up to it, if it was me, go up.
Yeah.
Because if you switch over to Mounjaro Zepbound, you kind of got to start lower. I mean, we typically don't start patients at the very lowest dose, but you can't start at like a higher dose because the potential for side effects is pretty significant. You got to work your way up, meaning that if you're on brand name, you have to spend a month at each dose, and it might not be for 3 or 4 doses or a couple of weeks, like a month, 2 months, till you find a dose that's really good for you. So you're probably going to be hungry at that time. I know patients switch all the time, and it's frustrating, I think, on both ends when patients switch because they expect the same level of appetite suppression, I think, immediately, and it's not there because it's got to build up. They have a very long half-life, so even though like you're week 3 at taking 2.5, you still have like 4 milligrams left over in your body from like the first 2 weeks when you're taking your next dose. So that day you kind of have like 6.5 milligrams in you versus that first day you had 2.5. So it builds up over time. So definitely, there's when you're switching, there's a little bit of a lag to get
Yeah.
you under control again.
BF is asking, should we start our reorder process about 2 weeks out to be safe? So typically so if you got a vial, if we're talking compound, and you got a vial that lasts for 4 weeks, I would say talk to us, chime in about after your third dose. Let us know how you're feeling. And that generally should give you enough time because you'll have that full third week and then another fourth week to get the medication in on time. Sometimes I hesitate to go much earlier than that because, as Neil said, the medication kind of builds up in your system some. So if you're messaging me just after your second dose and saying, I have zero side effects and I'm not feeling any appetite suppression and we want to increase it, it could be that third injection, you really do have a lot of appetite suppression, or you even develop some side effects and you go, oh, okay, whoa, maybe I shouldn't go up quite yet. So I'd say after your third week from a 4-week vial, go ahead and, if you're our patient, message
Yeah.
us. If you're using another provider, I would certainly ask them what their kind of turnaround times are.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. If it's around holidays, I would definitely order a little early because depending on what day the holiday falls on, they might take the day off before, of, after, then the weekend, and then they got to catch up on Monday. And sometimes they do get behind. And if they were already, if you got it in 2 days, like some of our pharmacies are very quick. Yeah, 2 weeks is plenty of time. If you had to wait 10 days for it the first time, yeah, I 2 weeks is probably about all I would leave there. I would get it ordered.
Agreed. Um, okay, those on TikTok, please like and share the live. The more people we get here, the more of an interactive conversation this is and more enjoyable for all of us. So please like and share. Follow Neil, follow me on TikTok, Dr. Mo, if you don't follow her. Um, but yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we appreciate that interaction. This is rough on Neil and I. We are not the presence that Dr. Mo is. So we're trying. We're trying. She's trying to teach us.
We're not the big talkers. I mean, I can get through something. Give me a topic and we'll go through it. But yeah,
Right. Yeah.
I'd much rather answer questions. No one wants to hear me talk for 45 more minutes. When I can answer your questions for the next 45 minutes, I'm happy to do that. I'd rather do that. Jeez.
Yeah, absolutely. Please ask away.
I mean, it's kind of why we're here. No one's showing up to listen to me talk about nonsense.
Maybe they are. Maybe they'd like
They
to.
might be. I feel bad for them then.
Yeah, I'd feel bad for them. We could certainly jab at each other for a while if we needed to. Let's see. We can go into. If you're not familiar with Dr. Mo has made her presence well known on TikTok, and she started Active Medical Solutions, which is a telehealth group providing lifestyle management. The main thing that we do is weight management, with usually using GLP1s, although we have some other tricks up our sleeve. Dr. Mo is our medical director and owner, and the people on the ground are Neil Hyzak, who's our lead nurse practitioner, who you can hear his voice but not see him if you're on TikTok. You can see him on Facebook and on YouTube. I am Courtney Fairweather. I'm a nurse practitioner, also taking care of patients. We have Amanda Luby, who you can't see, but if you're our patient, you will see her tomorrow night on our Wednesday night for patients only. And then we added Brandon Bedreen, who's another nurse practitioner. He'll cover some days. And then we have 3 supervising physicians who kind of supervise our care, but we are the true boots on the ground answering direct questions. We have all of the support and backing of those 3 physicians and various experiences, lots of licenses and letters behind people's names to help us out. But we're the people providing the direct care with some supervision and people to answer questions. A little bit about our practice. We do asynchronous telehealth, meaning you have unlimited text access to a HIPAA compliant Google Voice line. You can message any time of day and someone will get back to you. They will route you to one of us as providers as needed to answer any questions, help with refills. But they help manage a lot of things. And we cover different days of the week. We have, let's see if Neil can rattle off our states that we cover.
Oof. Again, maybe
Challenging.
2 days in a row. All right. So we're going to start with Indiana because I think I forgot it yesterday. Alabama, Arizona, Texas, Florida, Louisiana. Got Alabama, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, New York, Virginia, Tennessee.
Yay. Yep. Those are our states. And if you are not in one of our states, on our website, which is amstelehealth.com, we have a link to 2 other providers that serve different states that aren't necessarily affiliated with us, but are good friends and close colleagues of Dr. Mo. And we're looking at adding other states, getting some consulting to figure out how best to add some other states and get more people taken care of and get more people um, helped. It's
Yeah. But
life changing.
if you click on those other providers, I think Maribel Campos is California, and then Nikki Baldwin pretty much has everything else. So yeah, you can click there, and we can pretty much help everybody out. So please do.
Yeah, we're
Let's see.
happy to be
Oh,
here.
scrolling or trolling, or yeah, scrolling on Reddit. So someone's on there mentioning weight or muscle loss, and so anytime you have a big caloric deficit, whether you're on these medications, whether you're not on these medications, and you're not eating as well or as much, you're going to lose muscle mass. The acceptable level is about 25% of your total losses to be muscle mass. The medications actually, in studies, at least for rats, help you actually maintain your muscle mass while you're in that caloric deficit. They help kind of spare that muscle a little bit. Other things you can do to spare that muscle: first is going to get your protein in. For ladies, we typically like around 100 grams of protein, and for guys, about 150 grams of protein. Basically, we're using 1 gram per pound of body weight. That does two things. One, it helps you keep your muscle mass. Actually, a couple of things. It helps you eat less calories throughout the day because it's keeping your stomach fuller faster, and it's helping you keep your hair. Obviously, I did not get enough protein when I was on semaglutide, and my hair fell out. No, it helps you maintain that hair, because same thing, you will probably lose a little bit of hair with drastic weight loss. It just, some people do, some people don't. The only other thing you can really do to keep your muscle mass, which is your fat burning machine, is strength training. So both those things are very, very important. A lot of people, I have had people that I've talked to like get on the meds and they're like, "Oh, this is amazing. I don't need to work out anymore." Yes, you do. I mean, unless you want to be a skeleton when you're all done. If you're not gonna do anything because the meds are doing everything, you're basically starving yourself, which is what the meds can do. Very important to still maintain your protein intake, maintain exercise. And in the beginning, you don't have to join a gym tomorrow and spend 3 hours a day in the gym. It's literally starting walking is what we recommend for people if you're able to. And then, yeah, when you're ready, go to the gym. I've had patients not be ready to go to the gym till they've lost 50 pounds. They don't feel comfortable going. They don't think it's worth going because they have so much other weight to lose, and that's okay. But I mean, I think going right away would be great too. But if you're not ready, you're not ready. It's a journey. So if this isn't going to happen overnight anyway.
And if you're not comfortable joining a gym, or you're having to choose, there are some very affordable gyms out there, but if there's not one in your local area that is all that affordable, or you're having to make the decision, some of us have to make the decision between paying for a gym and or paying for medication. There are so many workouts that you can do at home with or without any equipment. And sometimes you're just busy. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, adding on a getting to the gym is a difficult chore. I do that to myself because that adds on time. If I've got to think about loading up any equipment or getting on certain clothes, getting to the gym, badging in, getting back home versus I am a big fan of YouTube. There are so many workouts on there for beginners, for if you have bands at home, if you have no bands at home, if you have just body weights at home, or, but um, hand weights at home, lifting cans. Yes, Texas Beard. Yes, there are plenty of plans that are like, hey, start with what you've got. Grab some cans of green beans or cans of soup. But there are a lot of things you can do just with the extra weight that you have on your body. So start wherever you are. I mean, I didn't have time one day to do much of anything. I found like a 17-minute full body, like strength training. No, it wasn't that intense, but it hit most major muscle groups, and at least I got something in for the day. It's hard to talk myself out of 15 to 17 minutes. Like I can't really make a lot of excuses for not doing that, where I can find a lot of excuses for not doing an hour or 2 hour long
Yeah.
workout. But there are my favorites right now is I type in full body at home workout and I find one that fits the amount of time that I need. And there are some that are like low impact or no jumping or no repeat or hit or what have you. There are tons of creators on there that have some really great variable workouts so that you don't get bored. And that's been my favorite go-to here lately. If I, don't have time to either get to the gym or do a long, a long workout.
Yeah, and there's even apps. Like I used to use an app called 7 Minute Workout, and there's a lot more now. Some are free, some you pay for extra stuff on there. It's all you need is like a chair or a bench. Like you can go to the park and do it. It's all
Yep.
body weight stuff. It's like body weight squats or lunges and sit ups and step ups, and yeah, it's jumping jacks. But they have, like, the one I used to use had it scaled. So like I can't jump. Okay, well, just do it like this. You can't do like a push-up. Okay, do it like this. You're pushing off against the wall. So there's lots of options for beginners and people who are just starting out. Or they don't sponsor me. I do have a membership there. Planet Fitness, if there's one around you, they're all over the place, are fantastic for beginners. They literally, on all the machines, they have like a little QR code. You just scan it. It'll tell you how to use it if you don't know. In the back of most of the ones of all the ones I've been in, they have this little circuit area, and they have a stop sign or like a traffic light. It's stop and go, and it tells you when it's time to move on to the next exercise. And it's a full body workout in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it the whole time. Go do 3 of them the first time.
Right. Yeah. Just start somewhere. Start with walking to your mailbox. Start with taking a walk around the block, which hits our other big pillar, which is stress management. Doing some amount of exercise or walking or getting some fresh air goes a long way towards decreasing your stress level, or at least the impact of that stress on your body. Texas Beard says, so does lifting his body weight make him a power lifter? Absolutely.
Let's see. Sean's on Facebook asking, how do y'all take insurance like Aetna? I'm in Alabama. So if our group does not take any kind of medical insurance, we're a cash-based service. We can like send traditional prescriptions to your pharmacy for traditional medications, and we can do prior authorizations for people that need them. But our practice itself does not take medical insurance.
We do not take medical insurance. That being said, we do have some people that find what we do more beneficial. So some of the added benefits I mentioned are unlimited text message, which, if you use your insurance, you're probably not going to find someone who you can contact every single day of the week, and they will get back to you that day within 24 hours. We also have a private online platform called School that is just for our patients only, where you can post questions. We have some articles there, tips, tricks, diet plans, some recipes. You can ask anything. I think Amanda put up like an entire week kind of diet plan for getting in over 100 grams of protein a day, and like how exactly you would do that. We also have, of course, these public lives every week on Monday and Tuesday at 1:00 that are for the public. And then we have one just for our patients only on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. where you could get on there via camera. You could type in a question. You could use just your voice. You could call in. You could post a question on School and say, hey, next time on your live, could you please answer this? And you can go back and watch it later. And there's, generally speaking, 2 to 4 providers on there at a time that would give you their opinion or experience on something. So huge resource. And as a couple of our patients have said, when do you ever have access to 2 to 4 medical providers, licensed medical providers, for an hour once a week? Like that doesn't happen in real world. There's not time or space for it typically.
When do you have access to somebody to ask questions on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday evening? You don't. But one of us is on. I think the only time, it was the first time. I think we took off Thanksgiving, and I think we took off like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day maybe, and like New Year's Eve. But otherwise you have access. And I'll be honest, I was on there on Thanksgiving, and I looked at it on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, just in case if someone needed an nausea medicine. Who wants to puke through Christmas? So yeah. I can do that.
Yeah, I think our practice closed for like officially closed maybe Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But same, I logged in and just like scrolled through to make sure no one had any like true urgent care concerns. Because I have a hard time taking a day off, but I'm getting there, getting used to it.
We also have patients that they like everything we have in addition to like just prescribing medications, that their doctor actually prescribes their medications. They come to us for all the other stuff because their doctor doesn't know is what we know. And that's okay. Their doctor has to do a whole lot of other stuff. And luckily for them, we have a ton of experience with these medications, how they're used, side effect management, adjusting them, and in addition to add-ons, like with our backgrounds, we bring a lot to the table for it.
Yeah. And we're not trying to, and not shaming on primary care providers.
No,
there's great ones out there. They're very busy, and they're trying to keep up with the latest how to manage diabetes and the latest trend on exactly what is supposed to be done with high blood pressure, and trying to hit all these markers that are required by the big bodies that are auditing everything and making sure you hit all those check marks. Did this person get this at this age? Did they get this at this age? And although we want to stay up to date with all that, and we want you to stay up to date with all of that, we're not managing if you had your colonoscopy. Please let your primary care manage whether or not you had your colonoscopy, and I will be happy to help manage your lifestyle medicine and weight management. We do not act as primary care. We prefer that you have someone who's maintaining your health physical annually, because we can't see you. We don't have a physical office where we
We don't.
can examine.
But we also, we'd love this out. We do urgent care stuff for you. So all of us are pretty much emergency trained. So, we can recognize a lot of stuff just via messaging or based on your complaints. So we do our urgent care stuff, which is included with our monthly fee. So you can't see your doctor. It's a Friday night and you have a urinary tract infection. We can take care of that. Your kid has strep throat and now you got a sore throat. We can take care of that.
Yep. Yeah. And that is included. That's not an extra fee for our patients. So
Mm-mm.
again, now we are also all emergency trained. So your urgent care complaint may not get exactly the treatment that you want, because emergency medicine providers tend to be very judicious on antibiotics. So we may suggest a different treatment than what you originally thought or planned, depending on what your complaint is. But we're going to listen to you, and we'll discuss things. But yeah, I think that's a huge added benefit, is that it's not an extra fee. We will get back to you within 12 to 24 hours and help manage anything if we
Plus,
can. And we'll
plus
be
we
able
also,
to tell you, like, I can't do that over telehealth.
yeah, we also think all the way through. Like, okay, it might be strep throat, but it could be an abscess.
Right.
Yeah, you might have strained your muscle. It's a heart attack. Please go. At least, and same thing. Like, you get some. I think we give great direction, because a lot of times people know, should I go to the ER? Yes, absolutely, 100%. You should.
Yeah. Yeah. We're probably going to be pretty cautious about that, because as emergency providers, we see the worst of the worst, and we are trained to think worst case scenario first. And then think about the other minor stuff that it most likely is, after we make sure that it's not the worst case scenario. So, but again, if you have like simple, like, I've been fighting this sinus infection for 12 days and it's just not going away. Here's all the things that I've tried, still running a low grade fever, then by all means, we're going to be happy to treat you. Let's see. Nobody's chiming in with many questions over on TikTok.
I see that. Yeah, I'm clicking through them all the things I have pulled up.
Clicking through. Yeah, I can't click through a lot with the TikTok live. So please like and share the TikTok. We appreciate that. Gets more people over to Neil's page, more people over to my page, more people over to Mo's page. The more people that are on there, the more frequently we can get our word out. And if you have been, if you've had some success on GLP-1s and know how valuable they are, then you too want anybody you know who needs this life-changing medication to have access to it. And that's what we're here for, is to help answer questions and provide help, be of service.
Yeah.
Anybody's questions? Anybody doing anything fun for spring break?
Think main event. I think we're taking the kids to the main event tomorrow. Let them play laser tag bowl. I think the one time I think we went to play laser tag, like, just do everything. They just want to play laser tag, and there was not many people there, so we could keep getting in games. So I think we played for like 4 hours straight.
Oh wow!
You could hardly lift my arms up at the end. Like, literally, I was just kind of holding the gun and kind of pulling the trigger like this, because I mean the gun weighs a couple pounds, but after carrying it upright for hours, it was like, I can't move.
Yeah. Oh, Disney with Grands in 2 weeks. That's fun.
Nice.
We don't have spring break kind of sprung up on me with a senior this year, that lots of college planning and negotiating and that kind of thing. So it kind of sprung up on us, and I didn't really have any plans, but some low key time at home with nobody having really any place to go is nice. We're going to like a special tea house on Friday, just for fun, to kind of dress up and just enjoy an afternoon tea. But that's, I don't know, maybe we'll get outside. We need to pick up some branches. Maybe I can make the kids help me pick up some branches in the yard and get that cleaned up. It's not quite warm enough here to swim.
I'm trying to think. See, on like, not much. There's not. It's all the same stuff on usually on Reddit. Nothing exciting other than only other one I keep seeing. people are stacking tirzepatide and semaglutide.
Oh,
Now, I have heard before where people would do like 1 week of Monjuro and then 1 week of Wegovy and alternate. And I mean, if it works for you, I guess. I just, I think you'd have better success using one of them, getting your levels up to, a sufficient level and getting good appetite control that way.
yeah.
I wouldn't switch them. I did have one patient at one point, say she couldn't get the Monjuro, and then we did compounded, and I found out later she was doing both. Um, she's no longer a patient.
Yeah, please don't do that, please.
um, but yeah, I would not suggest. I know they do work in different pathways, but money wise, I think you max out one or use one and then add other things that would work well. Like we love, adding metformin. It's
Mhm.
dirt cheap. It helps with the GLP1 in general, like make it works a little bit more effectively. It has its own appetite control or suppression effect, weight loss effect, in addition to like how would you absorb and how much of glucose. So, I mean, I think that's a great add-on, but I don't think adding $1,000 medications a month is a great choice. And my guess is a lot of people are buying it from Bob's Peptides and they're just
Mhm.
mixing it themselves, which is another terrible idea.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because there was that, there was found to be like insulin in some of those Bob's Peptides kind of things, which is a little dangerous.
Just a little.
Yeah, I mean, it did control your blood sugar, just not in a way that you wanted to be controlled. Um, but I get
Oh.
it. The meds are expensive, so I understand why people would go that route.
Yeah, and I mean,
I
we're
do.
all I mean, let's face it, most of us didn't get here just because we have a dress to fit into for high school reunion. Most of us got here for after years and years of struggling, and, once you find something that works, you really wanna have success quickly, but let's be safe about it. Stacking 2 of these medications is definitely not recommended. Now, I have had patients that, like, with insurance changes, like, for whatever reason, this month they're covering this, and then 2 months later, they're only covering this. So I have had a patient that, like, kinda had to go back and forth, and I helped her. She was honest, like, "Be honest with me, and I'll help you with it. Please don't go willy-nilly because 'cause you're afraid to tell me that, um, you couldn't pick up this medication and, now you need a compound of this medication, but you still have some of this other one left over. Be honest with me and let me work with you." But, like, stacking them or being dishonest, it's hard for me to keep you safe if you're not honest with me about what's going on.
Well, it's hard for me to control your side effects.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
um,
BF, here's my rant. I'm pre-diabetic, trying to control my life so I don't become a diabetic, and my insurance still denies my Montero request.
yep,
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
nope,
It would make more sense to keep you from becoming diabetic, and then all the other problems that you can have after becoming diabetic, um, and your cardiovascular risk. It would make more sense, but they don't see it that way. Same with why when people should, like Courtney and her husband should have been approved for the like for Wegovy, they denied it initially because they just don't want to pay for it, and knowing that their doctor will probably not likely do an appeal, so
right,
they'll just go away, and then they don't have to pay for it.
yep.
Yeah, don't get us started on that one.
We
God, it
we
makes me.
we rant right along with you. We
Oh,
do, and, we are thankful that right now compound is available, um, and it is an alternative, and we understand these medications, even compound, it's expensive. We understand it is expensive. We do, however, find benefit and, if people will give it a chance, let's find a way to do it, give it a chance. You are likely to save money in groceries and in eating out, not to mention the energy of just constant food obsession. But for most people, you're going to save money in the groceries that you buy and in the eating out that you do to offset the cost of these medications and pretty quickly. Like it happens for most people pretty quickly. I sometimes people, you see me drinking my protein shake over here. This Core Elite happens to be one of our favorites because it's a good, um, oh, and hydration. Neil's got his hydration there. Those are some of our favorite products. But, a protein shake looks expensive bought alone. But if you're looking at it that like I'm eating that and a piece of fruit and that's my entire meal, well, that's a whole lot less than even, a, a meal at McDonald's, which if you've been to McDonald's lately or any fast food restaurant with your family, you can't get out of there for under $50. It just doesn't happen
Well,
even with fast food. It
you're not
just
getting out of there for 10, less than 10 for yourself.
nope.
And if you think about it, it's $10. It's processed food, which is, the studies show is bad for your gut. Still delicious, but bad for your gut. And it's a bunch of extra calories. That I think you were drinking a Core Power 42. It's 42
Mhm.
grams of protein, and it's $4. Add
Yeah.
a piece of fruit. Even if you overpay for the piece of fruit, it's a $2 piece of fruit. You've come out under. You had a healthy lunch with some vegetable with some fruit, and you got your protein in for the day. Um, so even if it's just here and there, like once a day you're doing that protein shake, which is what I would probably advise unless you have zero appetite. Get that protein in first thing in the morning, eat 2 sensible meals and maybe a snack, and I think you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's typically my plan as I put my collagen in my coffee on my days off. I don't really feel like eating much in the morning. So I do collagen in my coffee, which is 20 grams of protein straight out the door without thinking about it. On my days that I work at a physical job, I do eat some other like yogurt with maybe fruit or something. And when I'm at my physical job, which is pretty physical and starts pretty early in the morning, I do eat an actual lunch. But at home, I just have that correlate and some fruit, or I might get, cheese and a meat stick or some cottage cheese or something along those lines, and then have a regular dinner with my family. And I'm good. Took me a long time to realize it, but I'm good. That's all I need. Now, if I was working out harder or doing some endurance workouts, I would need a bit more, but I don't have the desire for that right now, so I'm not doing that.
Let's see. BF, wife and I have done Monjaro set 15, and we titrate for 7.5 cheaper, but now moving up to 10. So I'm guessing you're splitting them, um, which I've seen lots and lots of videos online, people doing.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna leave it at
Yeah, there are.
that.
There are some videos online of a bunch of different things. If
Mhm.
good old YouTube search bar. Yep, you can find a
Yeah,
lot of things there.
you sure can. I'm gonna leave that at
Yep, that's all we'll say.
that.
Uh, Please like and share and ask questions.
Yep, I have seen it. I've seen it work.
I too have seen it work a few times.
As a medical provider, I can't condone that. Wink.
No,
Um,
I can
yeah, I just can't.
I can only tell you what I have seen and heard has worked.
Yeah, seen lots of stuff. Um,
Wow, your wife lost over 50 pounds. That's
Fantastic.
Isn't that a life changer? Like in so many more ways than just the weight, like sleeping better, moving better, more energy, feeling better, not just physically, but emotionally. And it's just the lives that we've seen changed keep us coming here and doing this and going through the changes of a startup business, which is, as most people have heard. And if you've ever been in a business, no, startups they're change, they're constant change. And we've lived up to our name, Active Medical Solutions. We find solutions. Every week it seems to
Every
something.
other day.
Yeah.
Every other day.
Every month. I mean, it's been the funniest thing. Things are settling down now, but when we first started, I can remember like a year ago, remember like last January, it was always like, okay, once we do this, next month it's going to be better. And then the next month it would be something else. It'd be like, okay, once we do this and we change over to this new charting platform, life is going to be better. And then it would be something else. And so every month has been kind of a new, but we've met it head on and done it well, like as a group, and worked together and truly found solutions to, our the main pharmacy that we used last July shutting down when we still had 2 weeks worth of orders sitting there, and quickly sorting that out for people. We didn't just walk away and toss our hands up in the air when it felt like we could have at some points. We scrambled, we boots on the ground, and everybody worked together, pulled together, found resources, and got people taken care of.
No, I really enjoyed those 16 to 20 hour days for a week. They were amazing. Let's do it again. No, yeah, we haven't had 2 months back to back where something major didn't change, but that's okay.
It's okay. I mean, it's fun, it's challenging. We're not in this because it's easy. We're in this because it changes lives, and we believe in what we do, and um, we like helping people. It's been um, hitting, we shared, most of us have emergency medicine backgrounds. So it's, you know, it, hitting it on this end where we're like helping prevent health problems versus seeing it on the back end where we're just, putting a band-aid on to try to stop the bleed for whatever amount of time we possibly can, to now like really feeling like we're preventing some major things from happening. It's been really a change in mindset, I'm sure for you, but for me, it's a huge change in mindset, and really has brought some fulfillment into a career that was uh, feeling overburdened at
Well,
times.
so was it 2 days ago? Whatever day I worked with you, Sunday.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman that 35 or 36 years old having a heart attack, acute heart attack,
Yep.
and it's like, man, if he got Wegovy when it first came out 2 years ago, he might not be having that heart attack and getting a couple stents right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been the and
Um,
when we're working our physical job, we don't mention to anyone what we do in our second job. I mean, our colleagues know, but other than that, we don't let the two paths cross typically. But in the back of your head, you're like, golly, man, if your primary care had only shared with you, like my dad, for instance, came to me. Hey, I see, you and your husband have lost a lot of weight. Would I be a candidate? I'm like, absolutely. Here you go. So he checked with his primary care and said, my daughter prescribes this. Do you think this would be a good idea for me? And his primary care was like, absolutely. I think that'd be a great idea. I think that'd be excellent. Then why have you not suggested it? Like, if you knew that this medication was out there, you knew their insurance covered it. Well, the answer is they don't have time. They don't have time to do that. Um, and that's it. They don't have time. And we've made, weight management such a touchy subject around here that, it, healthy at any size. So a lot of primary care providers are reluctant to mention obesity or that you could benefit from losing weight because people get offended, when really that's what we need to be saying is a lot of your health problems can be managed if you would drop your BMI some, lose some weight, get a healthier metabolic profile. But people don't want to mention it, and it's a touchy subject. You'll be in the room a long time.
well, yeah, do you feel more like they're being shamed as opposed to like, hey, I don't want you to have a heart attack, before you're 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and I want you to be around for your kids and your grandkids, and I want you to be able to go on trips and go hiking and whatever other things you like to do that might not be able to do after this, because you have a heart failure now. You're dependent on oxygen. Uh, So, but yeah, I worked with an ER doctor who would mention it to pretty much anybody who was obese. Like, he would try to, and then he had enough complaints and he stopped doing it because he was
Yeah.
constantly getting complaints about it, and it was coming from a good place.
Yeah. Absolutely. It just, and I think that is what makes this a little bit different, is people approach us in a
Yes.
time of need. And so it's much easier to say, all right, then we got to really dig in deep and look at, your eating habits and where we can change things. And sometimes that means getting really, really honest. And I had one patient, and I certainly didn't mean to make them feel bad, but when we really had to dig in, they had maxed out on Mounjaro and still weren't really losing any weight. And I was like, all right, it's time to dig deep. It's time to ask some tough questions. Tell me what you're actually eating during the day. Tell me what you're going out and getting. And it ended up that they were eating at a restaurant drive through at least twice, pretty much 5 to 6 days a week. And I just had to get real honest and say, even if you're ordering the best thing off of their menu, no medication can overcome that. It's just a reality of what um, the additives that are put in food, the processing that is put in food that comes from restaurants, the added on sauces, that even if you're eating the grilled thing, the added sugars, it's going to be tough to overcome eating out fast food that many times a week. Even if you think you're eating a lesser portion than what you were eating before, and I'm not saying never eat out. Of course, eat out some, be conscious. I mean, sometimes you're going to want French fries, and that's okay. But if we're, even if you're eating Subway 2 times a day, that stuff adds up, 2 times a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Because chances are you're not every time not getting the chips or not getting the cookie or not putting the mayonnaise on or not putting the cheese on. It's going to be really tough to overcome that.
I'm gonna go back to BF when he was talking about, like, doing things with 15. I'm actually surprised that the different doses aren't somewhat different priced, because even my thyroid medication, if I go from 100 micrograms to 125 micrograms of Synthroid, the price changes.
Right.
If the price is identical from 2.5 milligrams, so you're getting a total of 10 milligrams in your whole box, to 60 milligrams in the whole box at 15 milligrams, and it's an identical price. I mean, maybe that'll change farther on down the line,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just easier to streamline it now. I don't know, but
Yeah. Agree. The name brand is all four of the name brand medications are the same price for each of them are the same price per every single dose versus compound is, changes price based on your dose. But yeah, it is really weird that you can get a box of 60 milligrams for the same price as a box of 10 milligrams when you're using the uh, the brand name. Yep, agree, BF. Well, again, you'll find lots of things on YouTube.
oh, I'm sure they know what some people are doing. Just like they knew people were abusing that savings card,
Oh,
they didn't
yeah.
care. I mean, they cared, but they didn't care. They wanted that out there. They wanted as many people as they could, just getting a taste. Because
Hmm.
I think after you just try this medicine and get a taste of it, why would you want to go back the other way? You know?
Right. And I think
Um,
that's for the majority of people that, yeah, if they, once they found out that how life changing it could be, like, okay, I'll do whatever I need to do. If that means I got to go to a compound medication, if I can't get this brand name, like, I don't want to go back to a life run by food and this constant hamster wheel of trying to lose weight when I know that there's a better way to do things. And I don't want to say easier because it's not, it still can be difficult. It is much easier than doing it on your own, but as one
yeah,
of our patients coined the phrase, it makes the what was it? It makes the impossible possible.
it does. It gives you a chance. Like
Yeah.
some people just can't do it, or they string together 3 or 4 days and then they slip up and then they say, F it, I'm done, and go back to eating away. This, at least, you're like, you have a bad day. You're like, okay, and you start the next day. You
Yeah.
just start going again because you're not hungry again. Like, okay, I'll do better today. And the medicine helps you,
Yeah.
it's like a crutch.
Absolutely. Or it doesn't even have to be a whole day. Like we
Yeah.
talked about one time on one of our lives, my before medication, if I got up in the morning and had, cinnamon roll or a donut and bacon with the kids just because it was a special day, well, forget it. Throw the whole day out the window. Now I'm having a burger and fries and I'm having, a milkshake. And for dinner, we're ordering pizza. Just forget it. Screw the whole day. And you know what? While we're at it, screw the whole weekend. We'll start again on Monday. And then out goes like 3 weeks worth of hard work because I decided to trash an entire weekend versus now, okay, have the cinnamon roll for breakfast. It's cool. I'll have a protein shake for lunch. And for dinner, we're going to have our regular dinner. It doesn't even have to be the whole day anymore like it used to be.
Well, that and the meds, sometimes they're just not as effective that day. Like you're hungry, you're craving stuff, and the next day you're not. So yeah, you have a bad day, and then the next day you're like, oh, I'm not craving anything, and you have a good day again,
Yep.
and then you string together 5 good days.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you show yourself that you can do it and that you can truly change your lifestyle. Yeah.
I think
Agree.
that's the big thing, is that it shows that you can do it.
Yeah.
When you failed a million times, and it's like, wow, I've dieted for, well, not dieted, but I've lost weight for 3 consecutive months.
Yes. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Agree. BF. Miracle drug for some of us, no doubt. Yes. Miracle drug for a lot of it. I mean, it truly is life saving, life changing for a lot of us. All right, we are approaching the hour mark. Any
Woo.
questions? Neil and I have successfully made it through another hour without our leader, who is much better at this than we are.
I think we did fine. We just didn't. We did fine.
Thank you, BF. We appreciate
Yeah.
you being here and chiming in. We were glad to be here and hold down the fort and give Dr. Mo some much needed time away to refresh.
Let's make sure that I'm not missing any questions. Nope. And nope.
If you are our patient, chime in on our Wednesday night live that will be posted on school through the private link. If you are not our patient and want more health and help,
Yeah.
or more information, amstelehealth.com. Um, we will You can click the link there to become a patient. We don't require any payment until we all agree that we're a good fit, that we have a treatment plan, and that you like the way that we operate and like how we take care of people. Um, you can ask as many questions there without being charged anything. More information on our website, amstelehealth.com. You'll see our faces, our names, hear a little bit about us and what we do. There's
All right.
links there to Dr. Mo, and go to Dr. Mo on TikTok. She'll tell you lots more about us. Like and follow me and Neil as well.
Please do. And you can see me. Yay.
Yeah, then you can see him. The more likes that Neil gets, the more people that follow his page, then we can actually get him live on TikTok with us. All right.
Awesome.
Any
All right.
last minute commiserations?
Julie, Sandra, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We will get off of here. You guys have a great rest of your day. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.